I'm Ben with Martelli, and I'm here today with Lisa Gifford, who designed these gorgeous pumpkin templates and all the wall hangings and placemats and various little projects that you can do with them. And she's going to take you quickly through how to use the templates.
Thank you, Ben. All right, so I made it pretty simple. To make your full pumpkin, you actually just need these three pieces right here and then the leaf template. I did not design a stem template, and we'll go over that in a minute. What I done though was to make it really cool so that you could either use all the pieces to make this big wide template or a pumpkin, or you could just use just two of them and then you have more of a skinnier, taller pumpkin. And I've got three different sizes. I've got the large one. I think she works out to be about 9.5, and I think this one here is about 6.5 or 7.5, and I believe this one here is about 5.5 when you use the width. So here's what I do. I take my fabric first that I'm going to use to make my pumpkin. I'm going to make the medium-sized pumpkin here today. And I like to use a fusible web, so fusible stabilizer that I put on back. The one I think I use is the Wonder Under Light, I think I do. And then I always like to remove that backing paper before I start doing my cutting, because it just is slick and it kind of slides around a little bit on you. Then I take my fabric and I place it and I do a good fold. Because my first part of my pumpkin, the centerpieces that you see here, is this piece right here, and it's going to go on that fold. And what I also like to do, while I have it sitting there, I go ahead and take my other pieces and I place them on here because I want to make sure I have everything, plenty enough fabric so I don't have any shortages here. And then it makes it really cool when you can just cut the next one and then just line this one up and line this one up, and you're not having to do as much cutting. So I start off with using a 28mm rotary cutter, and I use that because it's able to cut around these curves without putting too much, it just works well going around the curves when you have the smaller blade. I'm going to just show you just going around and holding it down with our Get a Grip fabric. So since this is on the fold, open it up. Now you've got the center of your pumpkin. Then I take the next piece. What I like to do is go ahead and bump it right back up into here. Kind of helps me line it back into this position that I want it to be. And I take my second piece, and I get it to where it's dropped into there. And you'll see that when I take this piece out, now I'm not having to cut in the inner part, and it will line up really nicely. Go ahead and do my next piece. Here, and then go ahead and pull these two out. So these are the two pieces that go on the side. Set this here so you can see it here. See how those circles are all lining up because I lined it up that way? And then go ahead and put it back folded. Line it back up to how I had it. Then I'm going to take the third piece. I'm going to drop it right down into that place. Get it as close as I can to where I don't have to do a lot of cutting. Turn it a little bit more towards me. And then get the last cut. It's shifting on me. Here we go. And here's our outer pieces. Again, this is a cute pumpkin with just having the three. But to make it wider, just add the next pieces to it. So when I get this laid out on my fabric, I go ahead and place it on the fabric that I'm going to be doing. I go ahead and cut out my other pumpkins and get the design that I want it to be. The leaf template is the same way. I go ahead and choose the fabric that I'm going to use, make sure I have my stabilizer on it, go ahead and take off that paper. I'm going to try flipping it the other way, maybe it won't shift as much. Take my template here. This is the medium leaf. We have a large and a small. Same thing, I'm just going to follow around. Over the edge. Bring it around. And go ahead and cut here. Now it gives me 2 leaves, or you could just do it as a single. So you could have 2 leaves on your pumpkin. You could place it in any position that you want. I like using a large and a small and just kind of moving them in different places. Now I didn't put a stem in there because stems are different. They can be whatever you want them to be. So what I did was I just kind of took my rotary cutter and I just kind of played with it and just created an arc or whatever design I wanted it to be. And if I liked it or if I needed to trim it up, and I just added it to it. So it's just your own imagination on how you want your stem to look for your pumpkin. Then after I had it all laid out, I went ahead and ironed it down. I used a satin stitch on all the inside places, and then I just did a blanket stitch around the edges. But you could do whatever you feel that you would want to do to get it stabilized to whatever project you're working on. This is a little placemat that I had made. I also took the smaller one. Here's where you can see I used all the pieces here. I cut around it and then I satin stitched all the way around and made it like a little mug rug with this one here. I also had a couple other different placemats that we made, just showing different arrangements to be done with it here. What do you think, Ben?
These all look great. Thanks for sharing. You can get your own set of pumpkin templates at our website in the store at martellinotions.com. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.